Hold on to your popcorn, because we're diving into a Hollywood scandal so explosive it's like something straight out of a blockbuster thriller. Imagine this: a hit movie, 2 A-list stars, and a behind-the-scenes battle packed with lawsuits, leaked texts, and accusations that could end careers. The drama surrounding It Ends With Us, starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, has the internet buzzing, and I'm here to unpack every jaw-dropping detail. From power grabs to PR wars, this story has it all, and you're not going to want to miss a single moment. Stick with me until the very end, because I'm spilling all the tea, and trust me, the twists keep coming. Hit play, grab a snack, and let's jump right in. Let's start with the basics. It Ends With Us is a movie based on Colleen Hoover's wildly popular novel about love, trauma, and resilience. Blake Lively plays Lily Bloom, a woman navigating a complicated relationship, while Justin Baldoni takes on the role of Ryle Kincaid, her intense and troubled love interest. But here's where it gets juicy. Justin didn't just act in the film. He directed it, produced it, and built it from the ground up through his company, Wayfarer Studios. This was his baby, a project he poured his heart and soul into. Blake, on the other hand, wasn't content with just being the star. She wanted a piece of the creative pie. Actually, make that the whole pie. And that's where the trouble began, they say. Movie hits theaters and it's a smash. Fans are obsessed, the box office is booming, and it looks like everyone's riding high. But behind the scenes, it's a total mess. Rumors start flying that Blake Lively stole the movie from Justin Baldoni. Yeah, you heard me, stole it. The word on the street is that Blake used her Hollywood clout to take over the project, sidelining Justin and reshaping the film to fit her vision. We're talking editing, marketing, even the final cut, areas where directors usually call the shots. And now, there's evidence piling up. Text messages, legal filings, and leaked documents that have everyone picking sides. This isn't just gossip, it's a full-on Hollywood war. So what exactly went down? Let's break it apart. Justin's side says he was completely blindsided by Blake's moves. He claims she muscled her way into the editing process, crafted her own version of the film, and didn't even let him see the final cut before it hit theaters. Think about that for a second. You're the director. You've spent years bringing this story to life. And then you're locked out of the final product. Justin says he paid for the rights to the book, built the project from scratch, and watched as Blake and her team took it over. It's like planning a party, and someone else shows up to change the music, the food, and the guest list. But Blake's got a different story, and it's a doozy. She says Justin and his producer, Jamie Heath, were the ones causing trouble. According to her, they engaged in misconduct on set, making her and other women uncomfortable. Blake filed a legal complaint claiming Justin improvised physical scenes without her consent, pushed for intimate moments without an intimacy coordinator, and even tried to tweak the script in ways that weren't agreed upon. Her team says she was just trying to protect herself and the film's message of female empowerment. She wanted It Ends With Us to be about triumph, not trauma, but claims Justin flipped the narrative to make himself look better. Now, here's where things get absolutely wild. Blake's lawsuit doesn't just accuse Justin of bad behavior, it claims he launched a full-blown smear campaign to destroy her reputation. According to her, Justin hired a PR guru named Melissa Nathan to spin the story in his favor. Text messages surfaced where Justin allegedly told Nathan he wanted to crush Blake. His team reportedly brought in social media experts to flood platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, with posts painting Justin as the victim and Blake as the villain. One text from Nathan even bragged, "We can bury anyone." That's not just shady, it's straight up sinister. But it doesn't stop there. Blake says this smear campaign didn't just hurt her feelings, it hit her where it hurts most, her wallet. Her new hair care line was breaking sales records, but after the online backlash, sales reportedly plummeted by 56%, then a staggering 78%. She claims Justin's team orchestrated this to sabotage her. And to make her case stronger, Blake says she's not the only one who had issues with Justin. Her lawsuit mentions other women on set who felt uncomfortable, backed by HR complaints and redacted documents. One complaint alleges Justin grabbed an actress's butt during a scene, claiming he was helping with her posture. Another actress reportedly texted about Justin's behavior just 18 minutes after an incident. If true, that's explosive. Let's flip to Justin's side, because he's not sitting quietly. He's hitting back hard, suing the New York Times for a whopping $250 million. Why? He says they published a hit piece that labeled him the bad guy without giving him a fair shot to respond. According to his lawyer, the outlet reached out to him just 12 hours before going live with the story, hardly enough time to mount a defense. The article, which leaned heavily on Blake's claims, dropped like a bomb, and Justin's life unraveled. He was dropped by his talent agency, WME, had a prestigious Vital Voices Award rescinded, and was booted from his podcast. His lawyer says he and his team have been exiled from polite society and suffered damages worth hundreds of millions. Justin's team argues that Blake's the one running the smear campaign. They point to those leaked HR complaints that conveniently surfaced right before Blake amended her lawsuit. These documents, which claim multiple actresses had problems with Justin, were shopped around to big-name outlets like TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post. But here's the catch. None of those outlets touched the story. Why? They were worried about defamation. The complaints were heavily redacted, short on hard evidence, and seemed designed to stir up drama. While TikTokers and smaller creators ran with them, the major players stayed silent. Justin's team says this was Blake's desperate attempt to flip the narrative when she saw fans rallying behind him. And then there's Jenny Slate, another actress named in Blake's complaint. The documents claim Justin made her uncomfortable, even grabbed her inappropriately on set. But here's where it gets murky. Jenny's own words don't line up. After filming Wrapped, she sent Justin glowing emails, praising him for creating a supportive and positive environment. She publicly thanked him for his leadership and kindness. If something as serious as what's alleged happened, why would she go out of her way to sing his praises? It's a massive red flag that's got people questioning Blake's story. Let's dig deeper into those HR complaints. One document claims Justin grabbed an actress's butt in front of cameras, then made a bizarre comment about being hot for his wife. The complaint says the actress texted someone at Sony 18 minutes later, demanding action. But if something like that happened in front of cameras, it would have been tabloid gold the second it leaked. And Sony's response? They're denying any knowledge of HR issues during production. That's huge because a studio like Sony wouldn't risk a legal nightmare to protect one person, especially with multiple allegations floating around. It's starting to feel like something doesn't add up. Another piece of the puzzle is Blake's past. Back in her Gossip Girl days, she admitted to trying to turn the cast against her co-star Penn Badgley. In a 2009 interview with UK Glamour, she said she was upset about his casting, spread rumors about him, and even poisoned the cast against him. She later realized she was wrong, admitting Penn was a great guy, but it took her a week to come clean. Sound familiar? Critics like Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens are pointing to this as proof that Blake has a history of throwing co-stars under the bus. Megyn called Blake out for her power play, saying she used her influence to seize control of It Ends With Us and push Justin out. Candace went further, accusing Blake's team of sending defamatory articles to media outlets to paint Justin as a monster. Candace dropped another bombshell on her podcast, claiming she got wind of Blake's team shopping around those HR complaints to tabloids weeks before they leaked. According to her, Blake's camp sent these documents to outlets like TMZ and the New York Post, hoping they'd publish damaging stories about Justin. But the outlets passed, likely because the claims were too shaky to run without risking a lawsuit. Instead, Blake's team allegedly turned to TikTokers and independent journalists who spread the documents online. Candace says this is a sign of desperation, a last-ditch effort to pin dirt on Justin when her original plan backfired. And then there's Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, who's not staying out of the fray. At SNL's 50th anniversary event, Ryan was asked a simple question. "How's it going?" His response, "Great. What did you hear?" It was supposed to be a cheeky joke, but it fell flat. The audience laughed awkwardly, and it felt like he was shining a spotlight on the drama instead of deflecting it. Some say Ryan and Blake are pulling strings behind the scenes, using their Hollywood connections to keep industry insiders in their corner. But that SNL moment might have done more harm than good, making them look like they're trying too hard to play it cool. Let's talk about Justin's mental health, because this drama has taken a toll. In a February 2025 episode of the Gents Talk podcast, he opened up about the emotional weight of It Ends With Us. Playing Ryle, an abusive character, was brutal. He'd leave set shaking, sometimes crying, trying to shake off the trauma of the role. Directing was even lonelier. He felt isolated, with no one to share his anxieties with. He woke up at 4:30 a.m. with his heart racing, battling exhaustion and stress. He texted his best friend and his company's president, admitting he wasn't in a good place. And after filming Wrapped, he says Blake's actions made things worse. He initially praised her, saying she improved the film, but when the drama exploded, he admitted he got out of her way to avoid conflict. It's a raw, heartbreaking look at how this project nearly broke him. Blake, meanwhile, has her own narrative, and it's all about control. In a 2022 Forbes Power Women Summit interview, she admitted she's never been happy just acting. She wants a say in every aspect: costumes, writing, editing, you name it. She said some directors resented her for overstepping, but she'd do it anyway because it's what fulfills her. In the case of It Ends With Us, she says she was fighting for the film's message. She wanted the press tour to focus on female triumph, not trauma, but claims Justin flipped the script to gain sympathy. When fans noticed he wasn't promoting with the rest of the cast, his team allegedly hired PR experts to spin the story in his favor. Blake says this was retaliation for her speaking out about his behavior. The legal battles are only getting hotter. Justin's $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times is a bold move, claiming the outlet rushed to publish without due diligence. Blake's amended complaint ups the ante, alleging Justin apologized in writing for making women uncomfortable. But here's the problem. There's no proof of that apology. She says other actresses are ready to testify, but their identities are being kept secret to protect them from online harassment. Justin's team, meanwhile, says Blake's claims are unraveling. The leaked HR complaints, the lack of solid evidence, and Jenny Slate's glowing feedback all point to holes in her story. And fans? They're split down the middle, turning social media into a war zone. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Hollywood's no stranger to power struggles, but this one's peeling back the curtain on some ugly truths. It's about who controls the narrative, who wields influence, and how far people will go to protect their legacy. Blake and Ryan are a Hollywood powerhouse with deep connections and a loyal fan base. Justin's a rising star, but he's up against giants. The fact that major outlets didn't touch Blake's HR complaints suggests they're skeptical, but the online frenzy shows how quickly rumors can spiral. In the age of TikTok and Twitter, public opinion can make or break you before the courts even weigh in. Another angle to consider is Sony, the studio behind It Ends With Us. Their silence is deafening. If these HR complaints were legit, why? Are they denying any knowledge of them? A studio of Sony's size wouldn't risk a PR disaster to protect one person, especially with multiple allegations in play. Some speculate they stayed quiet to ensure the movie's box office success, but that's a stretch. A legal battle could cost them way more than the film earned. It's more likely they're staying neutral to avoid getting dragged into the crossfire, but their silence only fuels the speculation. Then there's the role of social media in all this. Platforms like TikTok and Twitter have turned this drama into a global spectacle. Fans are dissecting every text, every lawsuit, every interview clip. Some are Team Justin, pointing to his emotional podcast confessions and the inconsistencies in Blake's claims. Others are Team Blake, arguing she's a victim of a coordinated attack to silence her. The truth? It's buried under layers of spin, and the internet's only making it harder to find. One viral TikTok can shift the narrative overnight, and both sides are playing that game. Let's circle back to the film itself. It Ends With Us is about heavy themes: abuse, survival, and healing. Both Blake and Justin have spoken about the responsibility of telling that story right. Justin, in particular, talked about the challenge of playing Ryle, a character whose trauma manifests in violence. He said it took 4 months after filming to fully let go of the role, even having dreams about Ryle. Blake, meanwhile, emphasized the importance of focusing on Lily's strength, not her suffering. But their off-screen drama has overshadowed the film's message, turning a story about empowerment into a tabloid circus. What about the other players in this saga? Colleen Hoover, the author of the book, has stayed relatively quiet, but she's been spotted promoting the film without Justin. Some say this is a subtle nod to Team Blake, while others argue she's just trying to stay out of the mess. Then there's Jamie Heath, the producer named in Blake's lawsuit. He's been dragged into the allegations, with texts from Blake, calling him and Justin creeps and telling them to keep your hormones to yourselves. Those messages are shocking, but without context, it's hard to know what really happened. Were they joking? Was it a heated moment? The lack of clarity only adds to the chaos. As we near the end, let's talk about what's at stake. For Justin, it's his career, his reputation, and his studio. He's been painted as a villain, and the fallout has been brutal. For Blake, it's her image as a beloved star and her business ventures. The damage to her hair care line shows how quickly public opinion can turn. And for both, it's about who gets to tell their story. The courts will eventually weigh in, but in the court of public opinion, the verdict's already being debated. Will Justin clear his name? Will Blake prove she was wronged? Or will this just be another Hollywood feud that fades into the background? This drama also raises bigger questions about power in Hollywood. Who gets to call the shots? How do stars like Blake and Ryan use their influence? And what happens when a rising talent like Justin challenges the status quo? The fact that Blake's team allegedly tried to shop HR complaints to tabloids shows how far some will go to control the narrative, but the fact that those outlets didn't bite suggests the industry's wary of getting burned. It's a reminder that even in Tinseltown, there's a line between spin and slander. So, where do we go from here? The lawsuits are ongoing, and new details are dropping every day. Justin's team is pushing for transparency, demanding proof of Blake's claims. Blake's team is doubling down, promising more witnesses and documents in the discovery process. Social media is keeping the fire burning, with fans and critics dissecting every move. And somewhere in the middle is the truth, waiting to be uncovered. One thing's for sure, this story's got more chapters to come, and I'll be here to break them down. Before we wrap, let's take a moment to reflect. This isn't just about Blake and Justin. It's about how Hollywood works, how stories are spun, and how truth gets buried under drama. It's a reminder to question what you read, dig deeper, and not rush to judgment. Whether you're Team Justin, Team Blake, or just here for the popcorn, this saga's a wild ride that's exposing the underbelly of the entertainment world. All right, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this drama? Do you think Blake's telling the truth, or is Justin the one being wronged? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you loved this deep dive into Hollywood's latest scandal, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and hit subscribe so you don't miss my next breakdown. There's so much more to uncover, and I'll be back with all the latest. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.